Adrian and I always admire the way that you guys just are raising the three of them. And so, like, how do you all work together? We talk a lot about working together as a team.
Right.
You know, how are you all able to work as a team, you know, as husband and wife in raising your sons?
I feel really thankful because I married a man who is not above doing any of the things.
Come on.
And
Wow.
so, you know, like, whereas sometimes you enter into a marriage and there are expectations of, well, you do this, I do that, and you don't
Right.
cross that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't cross those things. I feel like we share every responsibility. And so that definitely helps in raising our boys and just having a happy home, is that we can share those responsibilities and share the load. Like, you know, even in this season, we're sharing homeschooling and, you know,
Right,
we're doing it on
right.
opposite days, but it's great. And
Yeah.
I think it's really enriching for our boys too, to be able to have both perspectives. And
To be able to see the need and then meet the need. And it's just such a beautiful balance, right? To have that awareness for both of you guys, because it's easy to become almost blinded in your own pride or selfishness, like you said, and go through the routine of, this is what I do as a mom, this is my responsibility, and then you have your expectations as a dad,
Right.
instead of being like, okay, this needs to be done. Someone needs to eat, so let's figure out how we're gonna eat.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just so awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, sharing those responsibilities, and even with the boys too. More recently, in the past year, probably, or a little more, just talking to them about, like, hey, we're a family. You know, like, we do these things together. We help each other out. We support each other. Like, and for them, it's like, hey, your chores. You know, like, or whatever.
Right.
Like, make your bed. So that helps mommy and daddy. You know, and like, but yeah, just being on the same page about that stuff, and I think it's been a big help. Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about how your marriage, how your family, one of the words to describe it is adventure. So how do you guys integrate that joy and fun in your family on a consistent basis?
we're at the beach a lot.
Yeah.
Here we are. Yeah.
We love spending time in the ocean.
Yes.
So, and our boys love that too. Just anywhere in nature that we can get them out and let them run and just, be free. And it's definitely a good one way that we have fun in our family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were able to do a ministry road trip this past summer.
Right.
You know, crazy time to take a road trip, I know, but we did a lot of camping around the U.S. and
fun.
we just had a ton of fun. Like that, as a family, we're like in this 8-person tent, and making meals around the fire, and like we're back here in Florida now, and all of us have been like, like I kind of miss camping a little bit, and just doing those things outside with the boys and learning and exploring, and lots of joy in that for sure.
We listen to a lot of music and
There you
fun
go.
music.
Dance parties.
We have dance parties, and we love trying new foods. And our boys like to eat different foods also, and that's always
Yes.
fun to see them, branching out like that too. So,
Yeah.
just simple things, but it definitely produces a lot of joy in our family. So.
It's cool. I actually kind of want to backtrack a minute because I hear so many recurring themes, and one of the things that you all kind of briefly touched on, when I think about just all that you all have done, you talked about how you do it together, right? And how you both kind of had these shared, visions in terms of what you wanted to do together, even early on in your marriage. Do you guys feel like that's been played a key role in just you all's longevity and your joy, like just as a couple and as a family? Do you feel like the fact that you all early on, but even before you got married, it seemed like you kind of had the same desires, maybe some of the same goals? Do you all feel like that played a big role?
I mean, certainly that keeps us doing things together and,
right.
Just celebrating life together. I think in each thing, there are parts that we like different than others. Like
Right.
Caleb thought he was getting a surf buddy when he married me.
Yeah.
He quickly discovered I would rather sit on the beach. And
Yes.
so now that's helpful, though, because he can go and surf, and
There you
I'm
go.
there with the boys or
Yeah.
with our stuff, and while all the boys are out surfing, you know. So we just kind of figure out what we love to do, but there's, you know, parts that we just like different parts of it. Or I don't know how to word
Yeah,
that.
no, I think
No,
that's
that's right.
You like the same kind of thing overall, but different aspects
Yeah.
in a sense.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that has definitely been a glue that has kept us moving forward, and yeah.
Right.
I guess glue doesn't keep you moving forward
Keep you together, though.
Get you together as you
while
move forward.
moving forward. Okay.
Yeah, while moving forward. No, I asked
Yeah.
that because I think, you know, obviously we have some people watching, listening who either are young couples or might just be, you know, dating or just single currently. And I think, you know, hearing about that with you all, I think it's good for people to hear things like that, because as they may be, you know, thinking about what they are looking for within, you know, a spouse or whatever it may be, to just consider some of those things, like
Right.
what are maybe some shared visions that you have as a way to help ensure that, you know, you move forward together.
And like not getting stuck on like the surface level stuff, you know, like
Right.
you know, you're talking like visions and values,
Right.
You know, and she's mentioning, you know, I thought I was getting a surf buddy, so like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not a, you know, I can deal with that. I have friends I can go
Right.
surf with, you know, but like
Exactly.
these important things, you know, obviously that's something to talk about and pray about if you're like looking at getting married or newly married. Like, hey, where do we, you know, see, you know, sit on this together? Like, you know, what do you view? What do I view? And yeah, so.
Yeah, and I was going to say with each season and with each challenge that we've had, that has really helped us to kind of redefine our family values and sort of figure it out along the way too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that definitely, helps you move forward. It could create like a riff or a pause though if you
Right.
don't, like, I don't know, talk through it together, pray through it
Exactly.
together,
Right.
and
Yeah, because I think adding on to that, like we look back at like different seasons in our life. Like before you're married, you look at a married couple or newly married couple, and you're like, they're doing that wrong. Like we
Yeah,
are not
yeah,
going to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
And then you get married, and you're like, oh yeah, that is difficult, you know.
Yeah.
Or you know, pre-kids, you're like, their kids are crazy, and
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
not going
We're
to
not
let our
gonna
kids
do
do
that.
that.
Uh-huh.
And you know, you like have these like judgments until you get to that position in life. And you're like, oh, like we were acting a little foolish there, you know. And so yeah, like being flexible in those seasons, you know, to
Yeah.
say, hey,
Yeah.
you know, where do we need to change or grow, or you know, what's God telling us in this season? So
Right. And love
Yeah.
you all said that, because those are some of the, like, this is marriage inside out. And so
Right.
when we talk about inside, like those are some of those deeply foundational things that we love to try to bring out and address, because like you're right, they're important. They're some of the deeper, more internal things that inform and affect, you know, what is done outwardly. And so, yeah, just appreciate you guys being transparent about that.
absolutely.
So, what is one piece of advice that you might give a family that may be at a similar stage of life as to one of your seasons? They're at a place where they know that they desire a shift, whether it's already come, whether they, you know, want to do the move, but they're hesitant because of how they feel it might affect their family. What would be one or two pieces of advice you would give them?
Right. I think a big one, we probably touched on it throughout this, was just being on the same page, you
Yeah.
know, and making sure that it's not just one person saying, no, this is what we have to do.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And then just leaving it up to the Lord too. You know, we can have kind of these controlling tendencies to want to, you know, control the outcome or
Yeah.
whatever, but being okay with whatever the Lord's going to lead you into, you know, and if that's something kind of scary and unknown, then, you know, you do that. If God's telling you to do it and he's giving you peace about it, you know, and then that's going to come in different ways, obviously, for each person, like how God speaks and gives them peace moving into something. But I think for us, that's some of the big thing has been being on the same page, you know, and walking through it together in prayer, and even taking like mentorship and advice from other people, saying like, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. You know, what do you guys think, you know, about this or whatever, you know, and
Having a good counsel.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. And just for the one who's on the side of just being afraid, just continually presenting those fears and worries to the Lord, and like every little thing, all the details, asking him about that, and asking him to sort through those, and he will. He'll sort through those. He'll allow you to feel peace about the things that you really don't need to concern yourself with. And then the things that, you need to talk through more and have more wisdom on, he'll give you that too. So just continually putting it before him, and not sitting in your own kind of cycle of fears and worries and all of the what ifs, but just presenting it to the Lord over and over. That'd be my advice.
So good,
Yes,
man. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Like, not just for coming on and sharing here, but we appreciate you all personally, just as friends, and we're so grateful to be able to witness all of the many great things that you all have done, are doing. Again, like you mentioned, how you're raising your family, and just being a good godly example for many people out there, as to what that looks like. And I feel like what I've heard throughout this are just adventure and just togetherness, like kind of as, themes that you all have shared, like you all do things together. And that's really been a big component, I feel like, as to why you all have been able to do what you're doing. Just, you do it together. Like you said, your sons, they don't see it as mommy and daddy do this. Like, no, we do this. And I think that's just so good for, other people to hear and to think about, as we think about marriage, but also family, and as we raise them. So, yeah.
And doing things together, I've said before, it's messy, and it doesn't always look picture perfect.
Right.
Someone's having a temper tantrum or a meltdown
Right.
at the time.
Right. Yeah. That's important, because we think
It's
about
messy.
it's messy.
Yeah.
But it's worth it, and it's rewarding. I think it is something to learn how to continually do things together. It's definitely something to learn. So, but worth it.
Awesome. So before we wrap up, if anyone wants to, connect with you all, maybe ask some questions, like if people just want to get in touch with the Bells, like, will you just share how they can do so, how they can connect with you guys online?
So we've had, for a couple of years, we've had a little website for our family. It's belog.org. So
amazing content.
www.bellog.org. You can reach out to us on there. We put newsletters out from time to time, and send us an email. You could also contact these guys, and they'll give you our phone number.
Yes.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Caleb, Mimi, thank you guys so much again.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
It's a blessing.
We love you guys.
Love you guys.
We love you too.
Right.
All right, guys. So as we wrap up, our question of the day for you is, do you feel like that you are being led to step into a big faith move or big transition? If so, we would love to know in the comments below.
And if you are joining us here for the first time, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube. You can also find us on any of the audio platforms for the podcast. And if you are interested in just learning about our resources, you can also head over to marriageinsideout.com for our free goal setting guide.
Yes, and until next time, remember, your marriage has a mission, and what the Lord has brought together, let nothing and no one separate. Love God and love one another, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.